The Golden State Warriors got a much-needed win over the weekend over the Phoenix Suns, but the win didn't come with all great news. It came with some great and it came with some bad. We'll discuss both sides of that coin on today's show. But before we do, guys, this is what I need you to do right now. I need you to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 71,000 subscribers right here at Warriors Today, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep giving you daily Golden State Warriors news and updates all season long. If there's any more trade rumors that come out, if a trade is made, you know the first place you're going to hear about it is right here at Warriors Today. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll get started with today's show. What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and on today's show, we're going to discuss what kind of went on and what's to come out of the Golden State Warriors' big-time win, 109-105, against the Phoenix Suns over the weekend. And honestly, let's just start right now with the good. And the good is that Jonathan Kuminga is playing the best basketball of his career. A team-high 34-point outing against the Phoenix Suns, and he had just had a 34-point outing against the Los Angeles Clippers just the game before. Jonathan Kuminga seems to be playing his best basketball of his career right now. And, let's be honest, I'm a guy who has nagged on Kuminga and his fit on this Golden State Warriors roster basically for the last 2 seasons now, where we've been waiting for him to take this all-star level leap that a lot of the Golden State Warriors teammates, coaching staff, front office members have kind of believed in him to do. But now we're kind of seeing that come to fruition, right? Over the last 2 games, Jonathan Kuminga has been phenomenal against Clippers. 34 points, efficient shooting, 11 and 19 from the field, 10 boards. Clap it up for Jonathan Kuminga, using his basketball IQ and his athleticism to be able to track down more rebounds. Honestly, I mean, that's something that I've been asking for the guy to do basically since he was drafted, and he's shown really an unwillingness to do so up until now. Great to see him in the double-digit rebound category for a Golden State team that really doesn't have many options down there in the front court to go and collect many rebounds. And obviously chipping in 5 assists as well. That's something that what Kuminga wanted to improve upon this season as well, as being better with the ball in his hands and doing more than just going downhill and putting your shoulder into guys. Now, to be fair, he still does that, and he's doing it at an efficient rate. But remember what the coaching staff said early on? They said they didn't think he'd be a small forward. They saw him as more of a power forward because he didn't have a small forward skill set. Now he's kind of showing it a little more now with his ability to, in his improved court vision, I guess you could say, getting the ball to his teammates in more advantageous opportunities. And then a 34-point outing against Phoenix, more efficient shooting, and 9 rebounds in that one. Like, that's really what I'm looking to see from Jonathan Kuminga long-term, right? Be an efficient scorer. Do it how you may. Maybe it's not the most conducive to Golden State's system, but you're putting the ball in the cup nonetheless, and you're crashing the glass. That is what I love to see from Jonathan Kuminga. And honestly, what we've much maligned Steve Kerr for doing so far this season is the inconsistency in rotations. Well, it looks like Steve Kerr may have found himself a rotation, and Jonathan Kuminga is a part of it. And it also includes Jonathan Kuminga playing that power forward position like he said that he wasn't supposed to before the season started. So kind of a little bit of a double-edged sword there, but a fun sword that we're talking about here because Jonathan Kuminga is playing at a high level, and the Warriors won a game because of it. Let's go to these chat stats real quick. Let's talk about this. Because Steve Kerr used 7 different lineups with Jonathan Kuminga at the 4 and Draymond Green at the 5. If you're going to run a 5-out lineup, that's how it's going to have to be. I mean, you don't really have a center on the roster that necessarily stretches the floor. And before you guys get in the comments talking about him, Quentin Post is not NBA ready. Clearly, the coaching staff doesn't believe that he's a valuable piece or a contributor to the rotation at this point. So get off the Quentin Post train. He's not playing meaningful minutes for Golden State anytime soon. So if Golden State wants to have a 5-out lineup, you have to play Draymond at the 5 and Kuminga at the 4. And 5 of those lineups, he ran 7 different lineups. 5 of them had a positive plus-minus. So 5 out of 7 times when Jonathan Kuminga was at the 4 and Draymond Green was at the 5, Golden State saw positive results. And that's what I love to see, man. Honestly, finding different lineups and different rotations that are going to work long-term with this Golden State team. And to be fair, the Phoenix Suns were missing Jusuf Nurkic, who they're trying to trade right now, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with or not. Regardless, they were very thin in the front court as well. So this is a game where Golden State could attack a Phoenix team that was rather small defensively and be able to attack them 5-out from that end as well. So, I mean, honestly, it seems like Jonathan Kuminga is turning a little bit of a corner right now, and he's getting under the noticing eye of head coach Steve Kerr. Here's what Kerr had to say about Jonathan Kuminga right now. He said, I just think he's turning a corner. Isn't settling for 17-footers. So Jonathan Kuminga was one of those players that Steve Kerr was talking about in a previous press conference a couple of games ago when he was talking about the young talent on this roster not really playing to the way that they should when Stephen Curry is on the floor. Jonathan Kuminga and Brandin Podziemski were the two players that he was talking about in that scenario. Those are the two players that Golden State has pushed a lot of lottery chips into the center of the table on, and they weren't really playing to the standards of what Golden State's coaching staff thinks they should be playing at this point. He said he isn't settling for 17-footers, and at this time just feels different. Right now, Jonathan Kuminga has gone through these kind of spells before, right? There are these couple of 30-point outings. He even had it early on this season. Then he went back to his ways of inconsistency. Steve Kerr thinks this time is different. Do I think this time is different? I'm not so sure, but I'm not going to be mad at Jonathan Kuminga having the performances that he's having at this point this season. That's just me. I do got to see a little bit more consistency, but honestly, at this point, with what Golden State has done over the past 15 games or so, any win is a good win. They just got their third win in the last 13. So, with that being said, show Jonathan Kuminga some love. We don't do it a ton here on the channel. Show Jonathan Kuminga some love down in the comment section. Give me some JKs down below, and show him some love, and act like he is going to be a positive member of this Golden State Warriors team long term, because it looks like that might be the case with the lack of trade options out there for Golden State right now. So give me a JK down in the comments section. Next up, we're going to talk about the bad news for Golden State. I wanted to start with the good, right? Fluffy guys up a little bit. And we're going to go to the bad news and talk a little bit more about the rotation that I mentioned before. How Steve Kerr thinks that the core of the Golden State Warriors rotation might be what it is, like he saw in that Phoenix Suns game and the Clippers game over the weekend. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform with over 10 million active members, including yours truly. And want to know why? Because Prize Picks is just the easiest way to win real money in real time watching your favorite sports. Basketball season is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. And you also, guys, can get a free $50 in your account when you use our promo code CLNS and place your first $5 entry. You might be asking me, Tyler, how do you even place an entry on Prize Picks? It's so simple. All you guys got to do is pick 2 to 6 player stat projections and just pick more or less. It's so simple. So simple, I can show you a winner I had last night. I went to the Sunday night football game, and I decided to get sticky. I had Bijan Robinson more than 21.5 yards in his first 5 rushing attempts. I had Jaden Daniels to throw a Stevie Wonder interception. He did so. Michael Penix to give me more than 202.5 passing yards. He went off in the later stages of that game. And then I had Vlad Golden, the talented 7-footer. You can mix and match sport types on Prize Picks as well. I had Vlad Golden, the talented 7-footer out of Michigan, to give me 15 points. He did so with ease. You can tail my picks. You can fade my picks. Just make sure you go and do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that promo code CLNS and get $50 for free when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, let's talk about the bad news now. Brandin Podziemski, unfortunately, suffered an injury in that game against the Phoenix Suns, an abdominal strain, and unfortunately, he is going to be out for the next game for Golden State tonight. So, an unfortunate loss here for somebody who was getting a ton of minutes, was dealt with a little bit of responsibility this season relative to what he had in his rookie year. And, he didn't return to that Phoenix game. He's considered day-to-day now. There's no real timetable on his return just yet. Hopefully that we get news on that, maybe after this next game for Golden State. But right now, you're not going to see much of Brandin Podziemski. Now, I say this is bad news for maybe a couple different reasons. One, because Golden State doesn't have another ball handler on the floor. Luckily, picking up Dennis Schroeder, and he kind of came along in the later stages of that Phoenix game, which was nice to see after struggling in his first couple of games for Golden State. And I kind of thought that would be the case given his play style, kind of an antithesis to what Golden State likes to play with. But this could be bad news for Brandin Podziemski as a whole, because I think personally, he might see his minutes and role diminish even more after missing maybe a couple of games here, and Golden State maybe finding their rhythm, finding their footing with this core rotation that Steve Kerr's talking about here. I mean, his recent comments about the new rotation for Golden State could signal that Brandin Podziemski might be on his way out of the rotation, because unfortunately he just hasn't played up to the standard that Golden State has asked of him so far this year. He's been, his numbers are down, his efficiency's way down compared to last season, and unfortunately, you're not going to see Brandin Podziemski making all the winning plays for Golden State like you did last year. I mean, those plays don't stick out as much when he's not shooting the ball at a super efficient clip. Unfortunately, that's just the matter of the fact for Brandin Podziemski right now, is that he's not seeing the type of success that he saw last year, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to see more. Like, I just need to see more from Brandin Podziemski, especially in the shooting efficiency department, than he's given you for Golden State right now. And that's what kind of leads me to this, right? The finalized rotation for Golden State potentially. This is what Steve Kerr had to say after the Phoenix game. He said, the starting group and Jonathan Kuminga playing starters minutes. Basically says that this 13-man rotation stuff, it's over. It's done. We're not doing double-digit guys in and out of the games anymore. We want the bulk of the minutes to be played by the starters and Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga has been coming off the bench for long stretches during this Golden State Warriors season. And those starters during that game were Dennis Schroeder, Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Trey Jackson-Davis. So unfortunately, it seems like Kevon Looney is going to see some his role and his minutes diminish as the season goes on. I don't know how to feel about this. I think Looney's a better player than TJD at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the Golden State just wants to see what they have out of the younger player. Looney's obviously only on the one-year deal. TJD's going to be in town for a couple more after this season. So maybe this is just something that Golden State wants to see. They don't think that the gap between those two players is that wide. Neither one necessarily stretches the floor. And TJD's had some really solid outings over the past couple of games. It's been encouraging for him in this rotation. And, that's good stuff because Golden State needs to find cost-efficient players over these next couple of seasons as Steph and Draymond and Andrew Wiggins make a bunch of the money on this Golden State team. The harsh reality for it all, though, is I just don't think that this core it necessarily warrants a playoff spot or even necessarily a championship run in them. Like I don't think this group has it. At the end of the day, the Warriors are not a contender, nor are they one player away. So maybe this is just Golden State waving the white flag a little bit, in my opinion. That's bad news as a whole, too, right? Like, is Golden State just punting this season away now that they've missed on all their trade targets? Because if they want this to be the core moving forward, that sounds like you're not going to be trading anybody within that core. I don't think they're one player away. I don't think that there's a player out there that makes them one player away, right? Like a KD's not getting traded. A Giannis isn't getting traded. And I think it's that caliber of player that you need to go out there and acquire if you want to be a championship level roster. I don't think there's a player out there like that right now. I don't think there's a player out there that Golden State can even trade for given the assets that they do have. So I understand like the idea of wanting to roll with this core moving forward, but I also see the other side of the coin where Steph and Draymond, like they've given you so much to this organization. There's got to be a trade out there that improves this roster just a little bit to hopefully put them into like the top 6 and not in the play-in tournament, and not fighting for their lives over a 1 or 2 game stretch in April. Like I hope there's a player out there. I hope there's a deal out there that can make Golden State a playoff team, but I'm not so sure that there is. And that's unfortunately the harsh reality of it all. But at the end of the day, like, you got what you got. We still got to root for our Dubs, man. We still got to root every single game on for our Golden State Warriors. It just, it hurts when there were opportunities out there for Golden State to make a deal, and they just didn't do so. They just didn't do so. So my question to you is this. Are the Warriors a playoff team as currently constructed? With this new core rotation, Curry, Schroeder, Wiggins, Draymond, TJD, Kuminga. 6-man rotation. And obviously, Podziemski will be in there from time to time. Kyle Anderson will be in there. Moses Moody when he gets back. He is probable for the game tonight, by the way. Are the Warriors a playoff team? Type Y for yes, type N for no. And obviously, if you type N for no, let me know why down in the comment section. Even if you type yes, let me know why in the comment section. And we can talk more about it on Twitter as well. I had a banger tweet come out on Christmas after the ridiculous end to that Laker game. You guys check my last video for my raw reaction on that. But hit me up on Twitter at SmittySCS. And obviously, like I said at the beginning of today's show, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, the best daily Golden State Warriors news and updates page in the world. On the whole interwebs, you're going to find it right here at Warriors Today. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 71K. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go Dubs.